Peace to the planet Earth. We got a couple of technical difficulties at the top of the hour, but if you're breathing, you blessed, man. It's Monday. Getting right into it. I wanted to do some quick shout outs before we get into this topic. Shout out to We God. Shout out to everybody that showed up in Yorktown, VA this Sunday. There's too many names to mention. I just want to say simply thank you to everybody for supporting not just my brother's nonprofit, but the youth out there, man. Support to the whole VA crew. And of course, shout out to Ignite Justice. Shout out to every other group and individual that's out there advocating, fighting for their loved ones, supporting people that are incarcerated, whether you're working in reentry, pre-entry, mental health, anywhere. Salute to you. Thank you. And again, the two words of the day are self-care. Self-care, man. Make sure you replenish yourself so you can keep going because they are counting on y'all. Today, I'm excited to bring up our guests. I'm not excited maybe for the obvious reasons. It's always cool to meet new people on social media, network, get in line with advocates, but this is the first time I've had my opportunity, I feel like, on this platform to have an individual come up here and speak about somebody that I actually believe wholeheartedly should be home right now. Sometimes people reach out. Sometimes, just being honest, I'll get to reading and I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's one way or the other. But I first started coming across the story of Winston Walters via Emily Shelton. Some of the Oklahoma pages, some of those pages out there working with Ignite Justice, started doing homework. And I said, yeah, we gotta get this story up here. So as we get into it, as we introduce Shanoa Mitchell, somebody that's advocating and fighting for his freedom, I ask yourself, how many more Winstons are there? How many more, not just men, but women, juveniles, etc., are supposed to be home right now? And how many not only are supposed to be coming home or should be home right now, should have never went in, but how many of them are showing that they're exactly, who they are? And those are good people that deserve a second chance. Or maybe they shouldn't have had their first chance taking it off. Without further ado, go ahead and bring my guest up, Shanoa Mitchell. How you doing, Shanoa?
Hello, how are you? I'm good.
Good. Glad to have you up here. I'm sweating. It's 176 degrees in Atlanta right now. That's what it does in Georgia. I guess really just getting straight into it. I kind of spoke on it a little bit, but if you can just introduce yourself before we really get into, Winston's story and everything that's going on.
Yeah, well, my name's Shanoa Mitchell, and I do like the social media stuff, social media influencing, and I'm a criminal justice student and a psychology sociology major as well. And I've been trying to get my degree in criminal justice since about 2015. I myself am a product of the broken system, in and out of juvie, jail, all that stuff. I'm blessed enough that I didn't have my life taken away, but I almost died when I was in jail in 2014. Um, kind of been through it. So I've always wanted to become like a lawyer, just something that gave me power to help people, knowing that I've been through it and I know the corruption myself. Because I've never been arrested for what I've done. I've only been arrested for what I was accused of doing.
Right. I heard something one time. Somebody said it said the difference between somebody that's been locked up and somebody that hasn't is they got caught. And
Yep.
that statement kind of just, not the same, but it reminded me of that. And also I just crossing paths with you. I seen you on, so make sure you guys follow her on TikTok. She does the social content, but what I thought because I like you're supposed to study the people you're gonna have on your show. And what I liked is you're bringing awareness to Winston. You're bringing awareness to his case. You could be using your platform for different reasons, but you're using it, as I encourage anybody that's got a voice, do it to cause a positive change. Um,
Right.
you talked about, I guess some of the motivation is you were once, you were part of the system, as you said. You had your experience in 2014, all of that. So I know that fueled part of it. But let's get into Winston. Like, how did the fight begin? Is this somebody you always knew? Is this somebody, just so the audience, so everybody knows kind of the background and how you guys cross paths and why you're fighting today?
So I've known Winston forever, but Winston, due to the fact that there's like no evidence in his case, we thought his appeals would go through. He was denied his appeal in 2016 and again in 2018, and then thought that the McGirt ruling in Oklahoma, I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, but there's a McGirt ruling which should give the natives back to their people. They thought that that was going to get him free, so nobody just kept thinking that he was going to get free. His injustice was too obvious.
Right.
But some months ago, probably like 5 months ago, we kind of just said, F this, F waiting. He's been stabbed. He's gone through hell. They've moved him from prison to prison while, he does amazing things and they still move him for no reason. Right now, he's sitting in a max and he doesn't have enough points and he's there for no reason. They drove him by himself across the state just to put him to a max. I think he's the only 4.0 straight A college student in a maximum security right now, breaking records. But so we decided, we're like, let's take matters into our own hands. He's already lost a decade, 10 years now incarcerated. And we keep thinking that the system would right itself and it keeps backfiring. And so I started getting a hold of people, figuring out what I could do. I met my amazing Emily, and we've been shout out to Emily, and we've been working on it since. I think we can get them out by the end of the year if we can get the signatures and the letters.
I definitely want to make sure everybody knows where we can get signatures and letters. I kind of want to backtrack. Well, first, I want to highlight the fact you said 4.0 GPA, because that's not easy to do out here, in there, anywhere. So salute to that. This
guy's got, it's so funny because I have his President's Honor Roll, like literally in killing it. And right now he's sitting in a max for no reason.
You spoke. I want to go back to this. We spoke about Rick because I was asking some questions. You spoke about his work with people that are battling substance abuse, addiction issues.
Yeah.
I definitely want to stop by and speak on that real quick. Can you just highlight some of the work that he is doing outside of the 4.0, just as far as his interaction with the guys that are incarcerated right now with him?
Yeah, he's got over a dozen inmates that he's been able to get clean, sober, get them their GED or get them into school, get them into college, working. He does it himself too. He teaches them how to meditate and like work out and change the substance for something else. You know what I mean? And he's even gotten them to get off of the like benzodiazepine, medications, even though they are they're prescribed to them. He still tells them like, these aren't good for you, dude. They're gonna alter your brain. He's a very powerful presence, which is why he's at the maximum right now. The workers definitely don't like him, and he's got a lot of workers who do like him though. So we're trying to get letters from them because I've heard people say that they've watched him change lives while they're in there.
And that definitely, keep highlighting. We're gonna definitely keep highlighting that because I think it's. I always tell people when you're fighting or your loved one's trying to get home or you whoever you're supporting, make sure they're doing their part. And he's above and beyond. He's above and beyond. You spoke to something. We hear it. We hear it a lot. And like I said in the beginning, I believe this to be true from the little bit that I read. You spoke about he's incarcerated right now with no evidence.
Yeah.
Can you please just break that down? I need everybody to really tune into this part and understand why. And as she's explaining this, I want you to understand if it can happen to Winston with no evidence, it can happen to your son. It can happen to your sister. It can happen to your father, your brother, your aunt. It can happen. So pay attention, please. And somebody's already asking what the link is to sign the petition, and we're definitely going to get that.
Yeah, it's on change.org, but we do have it. His link is on my TikTok page. It's on my Instagram link tree. It's on my Facebook pinned to the top. Anywhere you find me, you're going to find the link. But just like his case in general, I'll just try to run through it kind of briefly. So at the age of 19, as a first-time offender, he was accused of a home invasion-style robbery. No women and children were harmed. Nobody was unalived, but the man was shot. Money was stolen, and there was two people. So the husband and wife said that they were certain it was their nephew, 99% certain. The person knew their way around the house. They knew how many phones they had. They found the hidden key that they had. The nephew had just been kicked out of their son's house a month prior, and they just repoed his truck. So as soon as the cops showed up, even the wife was like, check the garage. Is the truck still there? Because they were positive it was him. They found the nephew's evidence at the crime scene, a pill bottle, a Jimmy kit. About 11 months, like a year later, this kid, Winston, was brought into the case by coerced people. These people all got deals. Most of them did no time for their weird, statements that didn't add up. The evidence that they're saying that they have, I myself have done forensic classes for my criminal justice degree. Their smoking gun was that there is this water bottle. It wasn't documented. Nobody knows where it came from. A couple different officers say different stories. Their stories didn't add up, but it had a minimum of 4 contributors to it, and he was a 1 in 230 contributor, and that's their smoking gun. There's no evidence, no fingerprints, no DNA. Like literally, there's this water bottle, this mystery water bottle that wasn't documented, but was allowed in court, which that in itself is a violation of his amendment rights and everything else. Also, all the stories. I mean, that's basically it. This mystery water bottle. They did a DNA test on the tape, which the tall perp would be. That would be him. Duct tape the wife, and there was two DNAs. They were pure DNAs. It was her and a mysterious person. Nobody knows. There's DNA for a shirt, and it's 1 in 2 that it could be his. There was another DNA. It was 1 in 4. So the DNA that they have isn't DNA. It's actually very sloppy work, because a 1 and 2 means me or you would have been positive.
Yeah, that's what I was. For me, my brain's not. So yeah, I don't go to college, and I'm not the smartest guy. But as I'm sitting here, I'm listening, and I heard 1 in 238. I don't know if that was the exact number you said, but I 1 in 200 something.
230. That was their hit. That was their smoking gun. It was a minimum of 4 people contributors, and he was a 1 in 230 chance. And then the other evidence was he was a 1 in 2 chance, and the other one was he was a 1 in 4. These aren't hits for DNA. These aren't hits that you have the person. And not only that, you can never, ever, no matter what you do, prove somebody's DNA in a mixture DNA profile. And these are all mixture DNA profiles.
So if what you're saying is, in layman's terms, for myself, anybody else, if they don't have to have a 100% DNA hit, they can have you and 7 other people tied to a handkerchief,
yeah,
or a bag, and that could. So as far as the other individuals, I mean, is there any other support? Is anybody saying, hey, he wasn't there, or is it just right now? It's just.
We'd like to talk to them and let them know, like, hey, you're safe now. You cannot be rearrested for this. Can you just tell the truth? But I mean, I'm in California. I don't even know how to get a hold of these people, but we're positive they would tell the truth, because they were saying it before. When he was brought in, everybody was like, dude, he'd never do this. He had everything. He was a reality TV star for 2 years. He was a cameraman for American Idol season 12. He made a movie called Torn from Normal. The kid had it all.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he's being accused of this, and everything is ripped away. Everybody's like, he would never do that. Winston has it all. He kind of got thrown into this and was made he was made an example out of. Yeah, what does he have to do? He's get money? Like, that's crazy. He already had money. Really, there wasn't motive. There was a huge lack of motive, but all these people got deals, and it's really crazy because there was a kid who was caught with a stolen handgun, and the handgun came from this robbery, but he robbed a church, got caught with a stolen handgun, and said he got it from robbing Winston's house. And that's how Winston's name was brought into this. So you have a career criminal who stole, and they got a warrant based off of this statement from this person. And that's how Winston was brought in. Winston willingly gave his DNA. When they went to his house, they found nothing. And I mean, he was dragged from there.
And why wouldn't he? If I'm innocent, I don't have reason not to give you DNA.
And that's the problem. That's the problem too. The judge said that he was so callous and heartless, and he's like, I can't feel guilty for something I didn't do. Like, he's just sitting there, but it is a violation of his amendment rights anyways, because he didn't have the right to a fair trial in general. He wasn't even, his counsel told him not to testify on his own behalf, because they were using the you have no evidence way of going about the trial instead of the other way, the lack of evidence.
I want to switch it up, what is, I mean, you kind of already answered that. He's still got a 4.0. He's helping people, recover from substance abuse.
In the beginning, it wasn't like that. In the beginning, he was 19 years old, thrown into prison, and told he got basically life. 92 years, no chance of parole as a first-time offender. In the beginning, he had a really hard time. I know he got stabbed like the first 2 weeks. He had a really rough start. But he grew up and grew out of it. The guy's been in college for over 3 years. 4.0 student the whole time, President's Honor Roll. He has all these different awards for, just doing whatever he can to learn common sense and ideas of like sexual health, prevention, unlocking your thinking and opening your mind, certificate completion, alcohol EDU completion, sexual assault prevention completion, phase step down program completion, aggression replacement training, which is the art training, how to not be aggressive completion, the challenges series completion, victim impact listening and learn program completion.
That's the one right there.
Like, honestly, these go on for days, and the thing is, these aren't even all of them. We can't find all of them, but it just an overall great person, like when it comes to trying to help people. And when he gets out, because he will get out, I believe in manifestations, he wants to help people. He wants to keep helping people because he's been in there. He goes weeks without showers. They do everything to try to break this man. They won't give him the phone months at a time. Like I said, they picked him out of college, out of the leather shop where he worked, and he made like handmade suitcases, wallets, moccasins. And they drove him all the way across the state to put him in a maximum for no reason. They say
he's got influence.
They said the reason is they found a phone and there was a picture of him on it. If that was the case, every single prison maximum security would be flooded, because we all know, you know what I mean, on the inside. Yeah. They're full of it. Yeah.
He's got influence, and then he's got somebody, like yourself, who's got influence on the outside as well. And that's just how I see it. I could be wrong, but that's what it sounds like. And you spoke to the 19-year-old piece. I've been screening up here since this platform started. I got locked up when I was 19. Regardless, let's just say, we're not even going to say because we know he's not, but no life was took. And we know the impact. We know the impact of physical harm. We understand that. But with the judicial system as a whole, this is why we have discussions like this. There's actual innocence, and then there's also over sentencing. But there are monsters that exist. But man, for so many, there's plenty of people like Winston.
I believe I just read a case of a man that's soon to be released in Oklahoma. He did 10 years, and he pleaded guilty for the murder and essay of 2 girls. He had them for 2 weeks.
Listen, I was locked up myself for 17 years. And I don't even have to speak on the stuff I've seen then. My brother's similar situation. Man, so similar. As I'm sitting here thinking about it, nobody, lost their life. And I'm watching guys that have done crimes to children and taken
right.
And they're walking out the door 7 years, 8 years,
Yeah.
Speak to why it's important. If somebody just said they just signed the petition, that's what's up. We appreciate that, man. Call Sarat. Make sure you share. Anybody that's up here, we're definitely gonna let you know the location of the petition. And I'm make sure Emily sends it to me, or we get it sent over so we can get it posted on our page as well. Yeah. I want to touch on this. Why is it important that we get signatures for a petition? Because everybody doesn't know how laws are where he's incarcerated. Some states have parole, some don't. Some people might see it as an urgent matter, some won't. So I feel like it's definitely a good opportunity to break down why we're pushing for that method.
Right. Well, it is super urgent actually because it's somebody's life. So we have to act like it's ours or the person we love the most. If you can't feel like he is your daughter, your son, your husband, your father, you know what I mean? If you lack the common empathy of humans and mankind, then you won't understand like he's losing his life and he can never get that back. He will never, no amount of time, money, nothing will ever get this back. So we got to hurry the hell up like it matters, like it's the person you love the most. The petition, we need 100,000 signatures, and then by law, the United States government is forced to step in. If you get 100,000 signatures on any petition, they are forced to step in, acknowledge it, and take the next steps. If anybody is familiar with the Glossip case, the Oklahoma system is so corrupt that they're willing to execute innocent men when they know that they're innocent. The attorney general stood up for Glossip, and the parole board didn't care, and they were still going to do it. Thankfully, his execution is frozen right now, or they put a hold on it. But to put Winston's hands, just to put his life back in their hands, maybe they'll let him go because he's obviously innocent, but maybe he won't. They won't. He has 2 denied appeals, proving the lack of jurisdiction. The judge was in violation because the judge was personally affected by this. His father-in-law had been murdered in a home invasion style robbery a few years before. He withheld this information and still had Winston's case. There's the lack of evidence. The lead investigator was fired from the county over, able to work this case. There's so much stuff that was proven in the appeals, and Oklahoma still said no, denied. So we're trying to go above it. Let's go above Oklahoma. Let's go above them, because if we leave it up to them, they may or may not deny it. But if anybody with eyes can sit down and read this case, he'll be free.
Says Judge, I'm reading some of the comments. Judge should have recused himself. That would have been nice, but we know that judges have been impacted, or their friends have been impacted, or somebody they know, and they sit on the stand, oftentimes, and
they're compromised. Yeah.
It's kind of hard not for us as humans to be compromised, and we're putting people in charge of judging us, so yeah, he should have recused himself, but this is why we got to go above the system. The system doesn't always exercise the way it's supposed to.
Right. And we have to go above Oklahoma, because otherwise Oklahoma, they don't want to right their wrongs.
Yeah.
It's just they're very old school, and they're behind in times and behind in their own ways. And they think like that. They believe in, an eye for an eye. I believe that the governor was saying that I believe in an eye for an eye, and for God, I will make the families feel justice, or something like that.
Well,
there's a lot of mental illness in the system.
We speak about that too, man. I think again, we highlight this case. We highlight Winston's case because you got to know that this can happen. You've got to know, and I like to break it down in a different way. But imagine you're on your way home from work and you're ready to go eat supper, and you're living your life, and you've done nothing. You do nothing but go to work and handle yourself in society the right way and help people. And then the police come knocking at your door, and they snatch you away from everything, and you don't come right back. And you've got to sit in there day in, day out, and you've got to deal with that thought. And not only do you try to maintain your sanity, but in his case, he's maintaining, he's productive now.
Right.
What are some? What is she says? I'm personally going to hand deliver this case to the DA office with the petition and letters of support. That's what's up,
Emily. Oh, sis.
Yeah, shout out to Emily Shelton.
Always.
Justice, one of my mentors. Said, did the elder step in? I saw dude is Native American. And we say Avenue Roddy, true, 100, 100, 100. Just going through some of the comments. Is there anything that we need to know about Winston? Is there anything we just that people don't know? Aside from anything that you mentioned, more reasons as to why they should get involved.
Right. When I put on the spot, there's so much to say, and then I feel the pressure, like I can't come up with the words. But he, in general, is an amazing person. He's working on himself to be a better person, no matter what's thrown his way, and he continues to do so. He believes in us, and he believes that he will be free because of people like us. And it's that where I believe in him as well, and we all believe in him as well, because when you're fighting for the same cause and you know that somebody believes in your efforts, it makes you that much more driven. They do lack jurisdiction. I did say that. He's a member of the Comanche Nation. Said crime happened on Indian territory. The tribe can only do so much. Oklahoma does not honor the treaties. They do not honor the natives and their rights. That's clear as day as well. They did. Forrest did write up an amicus briefing when he did his appeal, and it was still denied. But the tribes back him up. I know the Kiowa Nation, Comanche Nation, and a few others do back up him and his freedom. He's already got amazing arts and crafts. He's an amazing artist. Like I said, he makes briefcases, belts, moccasins, wallets, and he's prepared for a life outside of prison.
Indeed. It sounds like it. And he's got support. We would definitely want anybody that's watching this to get involved. So I just want to ask you, Shanoa, just if you can, and I'm going to type up here too. Excuse me, typing. While I want to make sure everybody sees this information, but just let everybody know where they can get involved with the petition. I know you already mentioned, but let them know specifically either your social media website or whatever it is, so they can definitely find you.
Yeah, so my name's Shanoa Mitchell. I have my Facebook, Shanoa Mitchell. My Instagram is native_strong, and my new TikTok is native_strong123. You could also, we need letters. So Emily from Ignite Justice, contact Ignite Justice too. If you can't find me, she will lead you to me, and vice versa. We need letters so that we can introduce his case. So if you'd like to do that, you can just shoot me an email. It's my name, SHANOA 882005 at Yahoo. Anybody who wants to help, email me, find me on social media. There's not very many Shanoas in the world. I am Shanoa Mitchell.
And we got it. We got her info. I just put her IG up there, guys, just in case. You can message her over there. And then, like she said, if not, you can email. I'll throw up where you can email either me at cwillers@ignitejustice-org, ignite-justice.org, or the same email, A Shelton or Emily Shelton at ignite-justice.org, and we'll make sure we get those letters over to Shanoa. Shanoa, I usually always leave the end of the episode, the opportunity for our guests to say something, anything, but maybe more fitting would be, what do you think Winston would want to be said? It sounds like he's a healing energy. It sounds like he's got wisdom, presence, and though he can't be heard, his voice, right here, I know he can still be heard. What is something that you think he would want, everybody to hear, to the world in general?
He always says there's no such thing as rehabilitation behind these walls, and it's hard enough that it'll break even some of the strongest men, but to keep fighting, to keep trying to get closer to Creator and to be better, he believes will give him a new life.
The fight continues. The fight is hard. It's arduous. It's a struggle. Man, it's tiring. It's exhausting, but you got to stay encouraged. Definitely not saying that to my guests. I'm just saying that to anybody that's seen this platform, that's heard this story. Of course, we need you to get involved. The marker is 100,000 signatures, so they must commit to action. We're trying to go above the state, and there is urgency because this is somebody that should be home. Shanoa, thank you so much for being a part of the platform, telling his story. Thank you for being an advocate and using your platform to cause a positive change. So,
thank you.
And salute to you, and to everybody else watching this, man. Stay focused, stay blessed, and keep going no matter